All right, guys, I got to call this out. This male feminist, David Jaffe, said something true about Vera Dark, that she's a grifter, which she is, and that she's has a huge sub count because she's a pretty young woman, which is also true. Vera Dark says what young men want to hear, and young guys love that, and so they flock to her. But she is not on men's side. I've said that before. Now, this Jaffe guy is being accused of misogyny. Now, we know he's not a misogynist. He is a male feminist. He worships women, and he calls other men misogynist, right? So what's happened is Vera Dark has the veneer of caring about men, and so he attacks her for that reason. And he mistakenly thought he'd be immune because he's going to bat for his feminist females. So that blew up in his face. And now everyone's calling him a misogynist. This is Altiori. I'm going to be calling her out too.
But it's really not. And I was checking with women. I'm like, hey, watch this for me, because I maybe I'm wrong, because I can be wrong. Everybody's got a blind spot. I would hate to think I actually would say something sexist or misogynistic, but in this.
Yeah, I was checking with other women. Yeah, see, this guy's a female worshiper.
If I look at the dictionary definition,
don't worry, bro, I got you. Misogyny, dislike of, contempt for, or ingrained prejudice against women. The word contempt means the feeling that a person or thing is beneath consideration, worthless, or deserving scorn.
You're not educated enough. You're not bright enough, Vera, to talk to me or to talk about what I talk about. You're just not.
He also said, oh, he's...
She that might be true. I don't know if it's true. It might be true because we know that women are given a seat at the table just for being women. That's a fact. Now, before we go on, I'll show you what I mean. Here, this showed up in my feed, this channel here, unbidden. I wasn't looking for it. Never saw this woman before. Snarky J. She has even more subs than Vera Dark, 220. Why? She's a pretty young woman, and she knows enough to put her face in every thumbnail. Now, why would she do that? Because she knows that whatever she's got on screen is not going to be as big as attractor as her pretty face. Every thumbnail has her in it because she knows it. Now, there's all kinds of guys who talk about the same thing she does. They probably don't have anywhere near the sub count. You know, being a woman is like putting a 0 next to a number. It increases it by 10. Anyway, we'll continue.
Older than me, so he knows more about politics than I do, and that I should, quote, go fuck myself. So I'm one of the grifters he's calling out, even though...
Yes, you are a grifter, Vera. You found a niche where you realize, hey, young guys want to hear a woman defend them against the misandry that's out there. They don't want to do it themselves, so they'll jump behind my skirt. So I've got an inbuilt audience. But you don't believe in men's issues. So you are a grifter.
Off people by lying to them. That's what they do. A grifter is not someone who sits in front of a camera and talks about video games, Vara Dark. You just don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do this. You are in that chair, Vera, because of your hair and your face and your gender. And
he just said something that's absolutely true. And this is why, guys, feminist women say, beware of the nice guys. This is a nice guy. He will lie to their faces and call other men misogynistic. But once he thinks he can get after an opposing women on their behalf, then the truth can be said, or at least he believes it could be said. He did say something that was 100% true about Vara Dark, but blew up in his face again because he doesn't realize he just doesn't have the protection of these women.
And that's fine, by the way. There's no problem with that. I don't deny anyone making money and building an audience off, the things that they've got. But
You see, that's honest too, right? So that's not really cruel. He's saying something that's absolutely true. Vera Dark has the advantage of being an attractive young woman. It gets her many more subs and views than a guy of the same caliber. So he's not even being cruel or nasty in this case.
But let's be clear. So far, my encounters with you online, you're a mental lightweight. And that's fine. It's not for you. That's okay. They're right. Your voice could literally get Putin to back out of the Ukraine. You have about as much mental capacity as a spider that I killed in my shower this morning.
No, again, he's talking to her as an individual, right?
The goddamn truth, Vera.
So he said all of that, and Hypnotic replied by, "This is embarrassing." And this dude has the nerve to be like, "Not as embarrassing as your take on trans kids. I saw your video. It was not researched. It was cruel and had no basis in fact. So forgive me if I don't take all your takes that seriously." Says the guy who admits that he was being cruel and you were being sexist, but yet you want people to take you seriously? Wow.
No, LTR, he wasn't being sexist. He was saying something that's 100% true. The truth can't be sexist or misogynistic.
Interesting.
Because you don't.
But at the same time, if it can, that just means that misogyny is a useless term.
Don't like them. That's it.
Ace. I was like, I don't think it is.
Or you like the
But again,
slurs.
I could still be
Yeah.
wrong. Educate me if I am. But my understanding of misogyny, yeah. So like the Popo says, you implied that she only has a channel and audience because of her hair and her looks, and because she's a woman. That's not sexist. That's not misogynistic.
He's right about that. He just said something that's true.
You know, if it were a situation where Vera worked for a company where they self-admit that they are prioritizing hiring women over other people specifically because they're women, then yes, you could make that argument in that regard. But
Well, Altiori, is it not true that there are quotas for women for universities and the workplace everywhere? So what you just said happens on the regular worldwide, or at least continent-wise, right? So women are given freebies just for being women. Do you think I could make an all-male company, like open a business, say I'm only hiring men, and say it right out? No. The government would come in and either force me to hire a woman who I don't want or shut me down. Women would protest. So, I mean, what he's saying is true. And what you just said is true in general. And again, you don't even need forced hiring practices. There's just human nature. A woman just has, especially if she's pretty and young, or just, let's say, pretty. It doesn't have to be young. She just has to be pretty, show her face, and she gets tons of attention and tons of money. Why do you think so many young, pretty women go to OnlyFans, right? Now, I'm not going to go any further with this because this is all we need to. I'm calling this out. This male feminist is not a misogynist. He's a woman worshiper. He went to bat for other women to attack another woman, and he felt he could tell the truth in this case, and he can't. Misogyny just means men who don't know their own place. Don't criticize the opposite sex. Don't even, in this case, congratulate them for what an easy life they've got. Admitting that women have an easier life than men, that's misogynistic as well, right? So again, the truth is misogynistic. So I don't give a shit about that term now. Okay, goodbye, guys.